Hello and welcome to the second episode of Divya's Closet. I hope you guys had an amazing Diwali. Today we have with us Charushilla Narula, an edupreneur, founder, key mentor, and director at University Connection, India's leading career counseling and college planning platform. I welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much, Divya. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. So, why is career development so important? I mean, back then I remember there were few career options that we had, and we always thought, that we can either become a doctor or an engineer or a teacher. But today I see people traveling all across the globe to look for the best studies. And why is it so important today?
Well, as I keep mentioning, Divya, that, career decisions are life decisions. You are known by the career you keep. Yeah. So at the end of the day, doctor, engineer, there's nothing wrong in being those professions also. But having said that, today you have a doctor doubling up as a photographer, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Or you have an engineer who loves to travel the world and maybe create films of their own. So the idea has to be people are no longer boxed.
Limited to
or limited, exactly. Yes. At the end of the day, children today need an opportunity to maybe come out with their hidden talents, or they need a space, a very safe space. Just like we say, mental health, for example, requires the right outlet. Similarly, I think their career aspirations need someone who is unbiased, who is totally aligned with and this whole understanding of the fact that careers can be fun also, they can be engaging, they can of course help you make money and make a living, but at the same time they are close to who you are as a person. And that's what makes them magical. That's why you see so many amazing new age opportunities that have now emerged, whether it's that of an influencer online or someone who's running their own podcast just like yourself, or maybe someone who's just a globetrotter and wants to explore the world, or maybe all these computer science related fields, whether it's an AI or VR or anything else that you see. So at least at University Connection, our focus is basically to help students to
explore different opportunities and know about their personalities and come out as a fully emerged individual who can choose and select and experiment with different things probably. So I'm
absolutely
very happy
your research is so thorough. You know it well. That's exactly what we do. And so parents and students are always happy to speak to an expert counselor at University Connection.
How I see it is that an individual's personality is not limited to just one aspect or one career, one direction for the entire lifetime. So these platforms, the platform that you have built, and of course UniVreach, gives students an opportunity to go beyond.
In fact, it's great that you brought about UniVreach, because I remember during the pandemic when the whole world was setting up one college fair, we set up these 10 virtual fairs across the country, because our country is very diverse. When you speak to a student sitting in a Jamshedpur or an Asansol or a Gwalior, it's very different from speaking to a student in a Delhi or a Mumbai or Pune and Bangalore. So at the end of the day, it's those students also who wanted to know more. So what we did is we brought in a bunch of these universities who were willing to speak to some of these students, and very soon close to 5 countries, universities from 5 countries joined in.
Wow.
And there were close to 250 plus schools who actually registered for UniVreach, and it became something of a movement at that point in time. And today also we are connected to some of those schools, and they always reach out to us for whether it's what should we be doing with our students beyond the classroom.
Absolutely.
Because the big buzzword today is beyond the classroom. How do you develop those skills and develop the right kind of attitude to learning with these children, so that they are ready not just for college but also for life.
Absolutely. It's very, very important. I completely agree with you. And giving this platform to people from tier 2, tier 3 cities, I think it's just a dream for them to be able to go to such colleges. And I'm not sure if they, in India, where there are so many developments happening, but still it is lacking at tier 2, tier 3 cities in certain areas, in some
Yeah.
aspects. And there, having opportunities to reach out to universities from across the globe, I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you so much. And again,
It's like selling a dream to them.
well, I'm a dreamer. If you ask me clearly,
Yeah.
I'm a big time believer of dreams also. I feel that dreams are not just idle nothings, they are the possibilities of reality.
Me too, yes. Absolutely, yes. But don't you think it is expensive to study abroad? I mean, not everybody can afford it. Actually, I was reading on your website last night that your company has arranged for more than $60 million of scholarship for students.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you do it? This is amazing.
So, this is something very personal to me. And I really
Yeah.
feel like they say anybody can dance, so anybody can get a scholarship. And this is not a secret anymore. Okay. So, in fact, the interesting thing, Divya, is that people don't realize that if you start early and if you start planning for some of these scholarships, most universities want you. They want good students, they want the right kind of students for their universities, and they have curated a number of these options for these students that they can avail very
Yes.
easily. So, in fact, I insist that students start their college planning journey, or at least explore this entire exploration of skills and knowledge and profile building, etc. It should start from grade 8, 9, 10th onwards.
I see.
Because 11, 12 becomes a little too late, frankly. And that's what, at least thankfully, we have been able to do. So many families, they, not only in India but abroad also, they trust us for planning their college planning journeys. And we've been able to get, yes, these $60 million in scholarships. But can I tell you
huge.
something? The bigger goal is $1 billion in scholarships. Okay. And in order to achieve that, we realize that it's not possible through one Charushilla or through maybe a 10-member team also. So we are at this point, we are launching a scholarship conclave, which is where we are inviting all universities to actually come forth and showcase their scholarships on an amazing platform.
This is
And,
going to be huge.
It's huge.
It's a wonderful opportunity for students out there. I mean,
Yeah.
so would you be providing scholarship to international students for India as well, along with Indian students too?
Phase 2. That'll be
wow.
phase 2, and I hope someone in the education ministry and everyone is listening, because this is also possible.
Really hope so. Yes. Why not?
Yes. So Indian students are very talented.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to have had the privilege of studying at some of the best universities in the country. And so I feel that why not? If students today can get access to a place in the United States or Netherlands, or even our children go to even places like South Korea and Japan also, by the way.
Yes.
So it's the whole world is their oyster.
Yes.
So idea has to be to open this world for them.
Yes.
Let them explore beyond.
But I still feel that India and Indian parents are still skeptical about sending their students outside the country for studies, and they're not aware of these opportunities, and that they can also afford to send their students outside India, and they can also have the similar kind of exposure for their kids.
You're right, absolutely. And that's why University Connection exists. And that's why, way back in 2013 is when I started University Connection with this whole understanding that in our country, the only choice you had when you wanted to send a child abroad was to go to these agents who had, let's say, vested interests in universities. Now, nothing wrong in that model per se, but at the same time, if I have my daughter who wants to go to a certain level of university, I would rather she goes there. So therefore, unbiased guidance and facilitation becomes like the absolute requirement.
Right.
And so as a parent, as a mother, as well as an educator, I just felt that space needed to be occupied. And so we have taken up this as a mission.
Yeah.
And the vision is that every student in the future should be able to go to a university or or get an education which is to their caliber.
Yes.
At the
Whether
end
in
of the day.
India or abroad.
Whether in India or
Wherever.
abroad. So we
Yes.
are spread across for that. And yes, every day, frankly, my day starts with multiple parent conversations, which are all around, tackling their fears and helping them figure out कि हो जाएगा इतना मत चिंता करिए just let's work on this together. At the end of the day, children also need that direction.
Yeah.
Aajkal, Divya, earlier on, if you notice, we had a few TV channels, we had maybe a few things to do over a weekend. Today, with your phone in your hand, you can be lost for hours.
Absolutely. Ask
So-
me.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just it's not a student problem. It is an adult problem
Yes,
also.
yes.
And that is why maybe having aligned a mentorship for these children has become more and more important. So I'll use a very strong statement here, and I'm sharing it on your platform right now, that it is a child is born to two sets of, like a mother and a father, let's say. A child is born there. But these two people are busy with their own lives also. They have to make a living also. Some of them get into that helicopter parenting and will do all that they can to make things happen for their child. But sometimes you need a third parent.
Yeah.
A third parent is the voice of research, is the voice of reason, is the voice of, figuring out what that pathway for this child can actually look like. So we should invest in a third parent at this point in time,
totally
if we really, really want our children to get the right direction.
Absolutely.
Just like a coach, yeah. I mean,
I don't see it as an investment. We do so much for our kids. We buy them, people buy them expensive gifts, cars, phones,
Yeah.
clothes, everything. This is not an investment. It is for their future. It is for them. They will lead a good life. They will know what has to be done, what not has to be done. And the doors of opportunity will be open to them. They'll be aware about where to go, what to choose, and
Yeah.
they will know consciously where actually their life belongs to. So
Exactly.
I totally feel this is worth it, 100%.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because coming from people like yourself, it's the world is listening. And I really feel that you are doing a great job of showcasing the right messages on your channel, because this is what is needed.
Yes, absolutely.
And,
This is a need of an hour.
Yeah.
And if we don't bring this today, parents who are, not doing this even now, they must get into this, ASAP, because they might miss out on very good opportunities for their kids.
Also, I think I must specify that what is happening also with this growing world of startups and people wanting to quickly launch into the education sector, there are a lot of messages floating around. Okay, and that is where also I would maybe want to use this opportunity to share with parents कि भाई हर चीज जो आपको AI दिखा रही है
वो आपके लिए नहीं है।
वो आपके लिए नहीं है. In fact, you'll be surprised. We go to the extent, like when a student enrolls with us, and I realized this early on, that if I can change what you see, what you hear, and what you experience, I can take you to Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go to the extent of even curating a movie list for a student, or a book list for a student, or a podcast list for a student, because just because
Wow.
Netflix is throwing that
Content.
that content at you, you don't
I
have
don't
to
want to
click
use
it.
that word, okay?
Yeah. But it's so important to become mindful and start living
Yes.
by, not by default. entirely, you know. So
Wow, I wish I had university connection back then to guide me and support me throughout my career journey. And nevertheless, I'm very happy with it, but I could have been better.
come on, please don't say that, you know. You're doing just fine. It's just, in fact, we are all evolving at this stage.
By
And
default.
by going with the flow, by going, because I'll tell you, as a counselor also, I feel that over the years, I realized very soon that what more can I give to a student today in 2023? Because you can Google a university, you can Google a scholarship, you can Google some skills, etc. So, why do you need a guide, a counselor at this stage? And this is it's an important thing that people are asking also, you know, because people have started now depending on various tools in order to even get basic guidance. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
in this sense, the role of a career guide becomes that of a conscientious career guide, which means, are you approaching this guidance from this point of view that you have to enroll somebody, you have to get them into a university? No.
No.
It is about evolving that human being.
Yes.
Okay. So, so I started training myself a little bit on this career counseling consciousness and how you can actually become a conscientious person in order to guide this child. Yeah.
जैसे एक मिट्टी का घड़ा आप बनाते हैं,
बिल्कुल।
तो आप उसे बहुत ही प्यार से हर तरह से उसे देखकर बिल्कुल उसी आकार का बनाते हैं. I think it starts from the very it starts at a very initial stage. I don't have kids, but I can say, seeing my own journey, I feel that way for myself. That every individual, every child is important, and every child is unique, and he may have the best of the skills and amazing unique skills in him, but unless we sharpen those skills, unless we give him opportunities to try on those skills and experiment and see for himself, we won't be able to do justice with that.
Absolutely.
And हमारी एज में, मेरी एज में, शायद we need a guru. We all of us need gurus for ourselves. I totally believe that. But for a child, this guiding guru, I think, is the best thing that can happen to.
I don't know about being the being the
beginning,
guru,
beginning,
but yeah, I get what
your journey begins there.
Yes.
And then you grow and evolve and reach a certain level, and you are finally working and you are finally employed, or maybe are about to start a business as your career option, and then your life actually starts, and then other people joins in. But at this stage, I believe that I think this is what they need. Yes.
You're right. And in some ways, we've also now tried to start another branch which is related to yoga and career guidance. Imagine that.
What is that about?
So it's very interesting, Divya, because at the end of the day, we are a sum total of our mind, body, and energy, right?
Yes.
And whatever you want to achieve, tomorrow you want to be a billionaire, or you want to run a chain of organizations, or whichever, you have to do it with this body and with this mind. But the problem is your energy is all over the place. Distracted, or generally not aligned, not channelized, etc. And that is where at least I have found that yoga works beautifully with young children, especially in that high school stage, or even at college for that matter. So we have, in fact, I'm putting together a white paper right now, which is my experiments with yoga and career guidance. What does one put these two together? Because only when you are a conscientious human being, you will then think about green counseling, for example. You'll think about sustainability. You'll think about incorporating climate change and sustainable development goals into your journey as a student. Not everybody can be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, etc. So what else should you be doing in order to become that best version of yourself? So there's a lot to be done. I mean, I can go on and on with so many of these things, but
But I think you're not just a career counseling platform. You're going so much beyond that, and you're just getting deep into the problem, and you're trying to figure out how and what can be done with a child to, create it into the best version possible. I think if this combination of body, mind, and soul, and your energy, if we are able to channelize it well, what can happen to that child? I'm just hoping it to be a boon to the world.
yes, but I'll also say that the environment around also has to be enabling.
Enabling,
So
absolutely.
today with the new education policy being launched,
Yes.
counselors like us and organizations, even schools, colleges, they're feeling very hopeful that something new is about to take shape. Also, with this public-private partnership of universities in India versus, combining with universities abroad, I think that's a very positive move. And there again, there is a lot of possibility for development, for growth, for students to learn so much more. But all of this again can become like a big khichdi, to understand. And that's where you need a career guide.
Yes.
You need a college planner. You need someone to sit down with you and say, okay, here are my goals. This is how I will make my chart. This is what I'll do this year, next
And
year.
you tell me, where do I fit in? What
Yeah.
is, fitting well for my
True,
child, all
true.
that. So, this, makes me think, how about the opportunities in India? I mean, everybody wants their children to study abroad and stay abroad only. So I'm not sure if India has enough opportunities for kids now as compared to what it used to be earlier. And if people who want to come back to pursue their career here, or their journey of their life journey here back in India. So once a student goes out of country, they decide to not come back. Mostly, whoever I have met or come across, and they say that we are happy here, and there are more opportunities, better pay scales, and better lifestyles. So I'm not sure how is India preparing itself for the students who are studying abroad and willing to come back.
You'll be surprised. Just last evening, I was talking to one of my students who's just come back from London after spending 3 years of her degree there, then 2 years of masters, and working for a year there, and now she's come back. And the first message she writes to me, and she says, "Ma'am, now I'm back."
Yeah.
So, and I was like, "You're back, as in you're visiting?" She says, no, ma'am, I'm back for good. I don't want to, go back anymore. I want to work here. I want to grow here. And so this is what I want to do. And she's not alone, by the way.
Yeah.
There are many students today who are not only looking at coming back to the home country, they're also coming back with a lot of ideas. They're also coming back with a wide network that is spread across the world. So you can be, today, if you're studying abroad, you have a bunch of international students who come from, let's say, Lebanon or Costa Rica, or maybe some parts of Europe and everywhere else. And so when you come back to India, you can create your own entity.
Absolutely.
That can leverage on this network.
Yeah.
So frankly, it's a good time where children are thinking both ways. There is a large population that goes there and settles down, but that's their pathway. But there is also an equally large bunch of students who are thinking about coming back. Also, the whole world is looking at India today.
Yes,
The
I
whole
agree here.
world is looking at India. So, and what gives me a lot of sense of pride is that today we do have some very good universities that are putting together a curriculum or a framework that is
exchange programs.
not just exchange, but within that university also there are some like there are schools of music, there are schools of design,
Art,
there are schools of that are combining business and technology together as degrees. There are programs that allow you to pick up a psychology with a computer science, or pick up an economics with a mathematics, or any other field for that matter. So today you can do this interdisciplinary mishmash of careers and degrees because universities here are also becoming open-minded about the whole thing. So so it's a very good time. So at least when I meet a student or family, I do tell them that I'm going to be very upfront about the fact whether you're ready to go abroad or not will be a question we'll talk about later. First, let's understand this whole landscape. Let's understand the whole space that you're operating in. And if India is your calling, then you will go to India only.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, that's true. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing. You guide so many students and you help so many parents come out of yours. Who guides you? Who's your mentor? I want to know. I mean, we all want to know. Who are you? Who's Charushilla Narula?
Oh God, that's a tough one. Okay. So I'm a very strong believer in manifestation. Yeah. I'm a very strong believer in dreams, as I told you. And from very early on in life, I think these were my LSR days when I picked up theatre. And
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did a lot of theatre.
That's why your eyes move a lot and I see so much of yes.
Acha?
Yes, of course.
I don't know about that, but
Very
theatre,
beautifully.
yeah, theatre has been my my connection with my soul. And in fact, a lot of my students and parents will tell you I'm very theatrical during my career counseling session also. But so I think I come back to my stage whenever I am on this guidance routine with a family or with a student or even with a school for that matter. And at that point in time, I do close my eyes before my session and I say a small prayer. And that prayer is more to guide me to become the channel that gives guidance to this one family or student. Okay. So I think I am that channel. I have been
given this responsibility of...
It's a big responsibility,
It is.
Divya. And I feel that the earlier we realize as educators that we are indeed just a channel, channelizing a very this higher energy to this family, to this student, the earlier we will be able to solve a lot of problems. We'll be able to also guide children with honesty, with ethics, with the right moral framework. And whatever said and done, children go to whether a university or they build a career or anything. At the end of the day, they are hoping to build a life. Yeah. And I really hope and pray that they are all happy and contented people in their life. And so what guides me is this understanding of being just the channel.
I mean, I didn't know that you're so spiritual and so...
So it has nothing to do with God as such per se, but
Or the
definitely
guiding light.
in either there is a guiding light.
There is a
yes.
guiding light, and that light, gives you the energy to, go on and do this good thing and spread across. Because anyway, I mean, there are so many people and not everybody chooses this path and they take it as work, but you're taking it as a responsibility, as if it's not just work, it's a feeling, it's just a notion that you have and you just want to transform it to your work and you just want to, spread it out there. So I think the Almighty...
It's just become like a prayer, every morning prayer is that kind of a thing. So.
I would definitely love to take one session from you,
anytime, I don't know. But you seem to be yourself also, working on yourself a lot. So it just, that's what we should keep doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just staying a student for life.
थैंक यू यस बट आई थिंक इससे मुझे ये चीज़ ज़रूर लगती है कि बहुत मतलब विश्वास बहुत बन जाता है कोई अगर सामने ऐसे हो तो आई थिंक विश्वास करना आसान हो जाता है
Of course. Trust is everything.
ट्रस्ट इज एवरीथिंग
Yeah.
और इतना लोगों ने हुआ मचाया हुआ है कि सबको बाहर ही जाना है तो वेदर वन शुड स्टे इन इंडिया एंड स्टडी हियर और गो आउटसाइड एंड स्टडी देयर
Good question, Divya. I think this is the one question that gets asked the most, because definitely there are so many opportunities in India. Abhi humne bhi bola that, India is the place to be at the end of the day. So मैंने इसका एक बड़ा simple सा litmus test बना रखा है. Okay? When I say litmus test, it's not like I'm going to give you a test. Really, it's just very simple. There are two parties involved.
ओके
There is a student, there is a parent, right? Now, the parent is the one who's responsible for resources, right? So, which means resources is not always money.
या
अगर आपकी मासी कनाडा में है या आपकी आंटी लंदन में है या
it
whatever,
easier.
so that is also a resource for you.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, so many of us, we know that we faced this whole situation where we needed a family member abroad, basically. So, does the parent have the right resources? So that's question number one. Okay. From the student side, does the student have the right attitude to learning? उन्होंने बोल तो दिया मुझे बाहर पढ़ने जाना है I want to study abroad because of all the fancy reasons and because all my cousins are there, because all my friends are there and everything else. But do you have the right attitude to learning? Which means, are you a self-starter? Can you, learn on your own besides, without a tuition teacher, for example? Do you know how to reference? Have you got yourself ready to that level?
यस
अगर इन दोनों का मेल है ना, in terms of resources and students' attitude, at that point in time, I do find myself telling a parent that, okay, become the wind beneath his wings and let him fly.
राइट
Otherwise, दोनों में से किसी भी चीज़ की कमी है. Resources अभी आपके पास पूरे नहीं हैं. By the time the child reaches the second year, you will feel the pinch. Okay? If the attitude to learning is not there, the first semester you will somehow struggle with. By the time you reach the second, third semester, you would find it very difficult to maintain a GPA or maintain a percentage over there. So all of that is important when we are trying to tackle this answer. About coming up to your parents' expectations. It is about you raising your own expectations.
and understanding that it is your life
It is your
ultimately it is
life.
going to benefit you
100%. So that preparation, जब हम कह रहे हैं 9 से 12 तक कराएंगे prepare first year of college to final year college, what is that preparation?
with the guiding guru
Oh, come on, no guiding guru, but yeah, but that preparation is more about firstly helping you internalize this idea of what is success.
seeding and that has
Developing
to
them.
developing
Yeah.
yes
All of that.
accordingly brilliant so wonderful I just have one last question before
Sure.
we close this what are your plans with University Connection and UniReach and like you mentioned about the scholarship platform I think this has to come out and it has to reach the entire country to different parts of this country we must reach out and we must expand. So, what are your plans to reach
So
out?
the first big plan is to put together not just a space for students and parents, but also for future counselors. So the big plan is to create an army of conscientious counselors in the country. And these conscientious counselors then become stationed at whether schools or outside.
Okay.
And so putting together a careers institute in that sense is the biggest plan that we are trying to put together right now. Apart from, of course, a scholarship conclave, which is going to be very important. And the idea is to give universities also, today not just top universities across the world, but even some well-meaning smaller universities across the world are also looking at ways and means to reach out to the Indian audience, and that's where we come in. And so UnivReach will very soon become a space for these universities to have a gateway into India. So that's the big plan. We need all your blessings and the
They're
blessings
always there.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Always there with you. Are you also looking to have an online portal where these counselors can come and enroll for, to become a part of University Connection?
Yes, my lips are sealed right now. You will very soon hear about all of that. So whoever is interested should just continue to follow us on all different channels, whether it's Instagram.
Because that will enable all the counselors across India to be a part of University Connection and this very big movement that we are trying to have here.
In fact, you'd be surprised, Divya, now not only counselors within the country but also abroad have started reaching out. So we should be able to have centers across the world.
Inshallah, zarur hoga. I mean, and I really, really wish the best for you and University Connection. And I really hope you are able to reach out to the maximum people possible and make the best of their careers. And I wish you
Thank
all
you
the
so
very best.
much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, that was Charushilla Narula with us on our set today of DivyaasCloset. I hope to come back to you guys with the next episode with another guest very soon. Stay tuned.